don't you just take a fucking knee?
This ends up on Pornhub. Sorry for your weird masturbation session.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. And if you see from the chat, we have Coop and Bobbit. And the title of today's show is Who Dat Got Beat. That's just for you, Ryan. Just for you. If you guys can hear me, that's fine. I have speakers hooked up, so if you guys can hear me on the stream, please let me know. I just need to know. If not, I'll just have to disconnect the speakers. But so I do care, not really. I would rather have had the Vikings beat the Saints than the Saints come to Green Bay. The Saints fear me. I fear the Saints. I do. They have a really good offense, and Green Bay has a really shitty defense. So Green Bay has, and we'll talk about the playoffs. So let's get to some interesting stuff that happened over the last week. Who the fuck is Joe Judge? All right, so that's one of the guys, the coaches that got hired.
He was the assistant coach over Patriots offense.
The Patriots offense?
Offense. He was the assistant coach.
He was an assistant coach in the
Patriots.
office, so he was coaching Robert Kraft.
Oh my
I'm kidding.
fucking God.
I'm kidding. I'm sorry. So how is everybody doing today? Cool? Bob, how you doing?
Bob, go ahead.
Well, other than wanting to throw my phone out the fucking window, I'm good.
You'll be fine. Welcome back, BB-8.
Shut up, old man.
BB-8 going into the races there in Star Wars. The speed race. That's what.
It could. Go ahead.
Well, for me, I'm just lucky that Seattle actually got out alive in that game. That offense was terrible to me in the first half.
That's why I'm looking forward to this weekend.
Mm-hmm. So it's gonna. I've got to say I'm a little disappointed as a Seattle Seahawks fan. I'm happy that they moved on, but I'm worried about them moving on to the next round.
No, they ain't beating Green Bay. I don't think they're beating Green Bay. That's who they play. We'll get into it though. We'll save that for. Yeah. We do have one thing for the college corner. And that would be the national championship game. And we'll talk about that for a minute. We'll talk about some hirings and firings and some goings-ons in the NFL. We'll also be doing our picks. We'll be talking about each game, 4 games that happen. We can actually get a little bit more in depth with each game. In fact, we'll start with the news and then we'll go into the game. And then we'll go into the college corner and then we'll go into the rankings as they stand right now. And then we'll go into the picks. So the Giants hired Joe Judge as a head coach of the New York Giants. Now, if this was a Cleveland Browns hire, he'd probably get hired for 1 year and then get fired because he only wins 3 games. So I don't know this guy. I've never heard of him. I'm not going to lie. That's why I was doing what I was doing. I'm sorry. No, was he an offense? Okay, so he's an offensive guy. So he must have been an offensive line or receivers or running backs coach or quarterback coach. One of the two. Because I've never heard of this fucking guy. I wonder if he's related to the guy that fucking created King of the Hill. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, Mike Judge.
Yeah, I don't know this guy. So we'll see what the hire. He comes from New England, and you know how well Belichick's lineage hasn't really panned out too well over the last few years. I think Rex Ryan is really the only one that's ever really amounted to anything. And then he got fired.
I wonder if he makes a good fudge.
Well, he might. I know this guy.
I came across Plays of the Decade, and they actually posted the butt fumble.
Yeah, actually, that was me and Heather were watching TV. I don't remember what it was, but they brought up. They were talking about the Jets, and the butt fumble was one of the plays.
I can't believe that one of the greatest moments of the decade.
Why is it not? He runs into his ass and fumbles the ball. It's great.
I mean, the Bills quarterback Allen did in the game that happened was probably just as scary as the butt fumble, because he was throwing the ball everywhere. And did you see some of the plays that he was making? It was scary seeing that guy.
I seen some of it, but then I had to run somewhere, so I didn't get to see pretty much the whole second half. So.
The commentators were on, and they were. Allen was just randomly like trying to toss it back to somebody, and he should have went down. Every Buffalo fan was probably wondering what was going through this guy's mind in the fourth quarter.
Right. We'll talk about all that stuff. Yeah. Trust me. We'll get into all that, because I seen the second game and the first. I think I seen the second game of Saturday, and then I watched both Sunday games.
Oh, nice, excellent.
Sunday games, but I didn't catch. I caught the first half of the first game, but I didn't catch the second half. I caught the overtime. But
I caught the whole game that game because
you can talk about it because I missed half of it.
Okay.
I know that we'll talk about what I seen in the first half. So, the Panthers, Bobbit, they hired Matt Rule as their head coach. And he's all right. He's a decent coach. Do you know where he comes from, Heather?
Baylor.
Oh, he's the Baylor. He was Baylor's head coach. That's right. So you got an offensive mind. It fits what Cam Newton can do because that's the kind of offense he runs. He can effectively with McCaffrey. McCaffrey is going to probably have 100 catches next year. I can tell you that right fucking now. So
damn.
The hire is good. The hire is good. We'll see what it pans out to be. He almost beat Oklahoma twice, and he got manhandled by Florida in the Orange Bowl. But hey, what are you gonna do? So there's that hire. Probably the biggest hire of the week, and I've been getting a lot of inquiries about this because he used to be the coach in Green Bay, Mike McCarthy. And I'm going to talk about this ad litem because people have been asking, what are my thoughts? Mike McCarthy got hired as the Dallas Cowboys head coach. Mike McCarthy is a very good coach. The only problem he has, and he's had this problem since he got hired as the Packers head coach. Discipline is not the problem with him. The problem with him is game management. He'll get conservative at the most inopportune times. He's done it for years. He stops being aggressive, and it cost him quite a few games the last few years. Now, I will say this. I know for a fact in watching him, he is very particular about running things on the field. And this is going to put that theory to test as to whether or not Jerry Jones actually runs the ship or if he lets his coaches do what he wants to do as long as he gets the players that he wants. The head coach should have input on the players that he gets. And this is another problem that Jerry Jones has. Now, that being said, Mike McCarthy is he's a Super Bowl winning coach. He's had 9 winning seasons. He's been in the playoffs 9 times. He's won 9 division titles. I mean, the guy has accolades. He's 125, 77, and 2 as the head coach of the Green Bay Packers. Offensive genius. I think he can make Ezekiel Elliott and Dak Prescott work. However, he's a system guy. He's going to want to get his players. If his players don't fit what he does, or if they don't do what he wants them to do, he won't play them. And he's benched. He's benched. And that's why you've always seen Aaron Rodgers and how systematic he is. Look at Aaron Rodgers when Mike McCarthy was there. How often did he make mistakes? Never. Because he was coached the right way. Same with Tom Brady. Coached the right way. Don't make mistakes. Don't get beat. Manage the game, but try to win us a game. That's the kind of quarterbacks that Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers are. Is Dak Prescott that guy? Mike McCarthy might be able to turn him into that guy, but we shall see. We shall see. This is a different system in Dallas now. It is not. It's not going to be your Dak Prescott is the fucking man bullshit. It's going to be you do it my way or you're not fucking playing. That's the way McCarthy is. That being said, I think he could turn him around. I hope he don't. I hope he fucking goes 0-16 because I hate the fucking Cowboys. Sorry, that's just me. But I wish McCarthy all the luck in the world because he's going to be dealing with Jerry Jones. So, like I said, that theory is going to be put to the test. My theory as to whether or not Jerry Jones runs things or not. So, I like the hire, and I hope that Jerry Jones stays out of Mike McCarthy's business because Mike McCarthy will just quit. I can tell you that right now because he doesn't want to be managed. He's the head coach. He runs shit on the field. Yes, he has issues game management at times, but he is a very good coach. He knows what he's doing. So, Coop's over there laughing. People saying shit.
I'm sorry. People are saying fuck the Seahawks in my chat.
No, well, fuck the Seahawks. But anyway, we'll get to that. I promise. The league, speaking of the Seahawks, and this is news, is the league is reviewing the hit on Carson Wentz from Davion Clowney. Now, I actually, you know what? I want to talk about this because I thought the refs did a pretty good job this weekend. There's a couple of times where there was questionable calls. We'll talk about the New Orleans Saints call at the end of the game. Just wait. We'll get to it. I promise. Here's what, if you all watch college football, they have a rule where if you target another player, you're gone. If you're done, if you do it in the first half, you're gone for the entire game. If you do it in the first or in the second half, you're gone for that half and the first half of the next game. Plus, it's the NFL. They're going to fine you. I think that they should enforce that rule. Plus, it's a 15-yard penalty. I think they honestly should enforce that fucking rule in the NFL. That might stop people from targeting in the NFL. I know it's a violent sport, but what Jadeveon Clowney did, if that was in college football, you would have been suspended for the first half of the next game. That's all I'm saying. That being said, let's get into the games, and we'll talk about the first game of the weekend. Anybody got any thoughts on the hires and fires or anything? The review of the penalty on Jadeveon Clowney.
The only thing I have a question is Dak Prescott signed yet or no?
No.
No. Okay. So this brings up further questions. What the quarterback is? So
I think he may have that fifth option in his
Mhm.
contract.
Okay.
So I
All
don't
right.
know. I don't know if he does. I know first rounders have that fifth option, and I think they make what the league average is at their position. I think that's what it is. I've been trying to figure it out because I'm fucking around with Madden and I love doing salaries and all that shit. I'm like trying
Oh
to
yeah.
figure that out. So I think it's the league average. It's just a little bit below the franchise tag. The franchise tag is players you're getting paid as the best player as the same as the highest paid player at that position. If I remember
Right.
correctly.
That makes
So
sense.
yeah, he's a free agent then. In fact, let me look that up. I will let you know in 2 seconds. Just give me a second.
It just brings up questions. I know
Brady
this is
is a free
probably
agent.
this would never happen, but if Tom Brady does not go back to the Patriots, I
Tom
think
Brady
he'll
is not. Tom Brady's not going anymore.
yeah. just for a dream opportunity.
Yeah, Heather just
Imagine
said
him playing
that's
for the
right. Tom
Cowboys.
Brady is a free agent. Well, when free agency comes around, we'll talk about that.
Mhm.
Um, we'll do a show here, a show there, maybe. Well, we might do the XFL show, and we'll talk about the NFL free agency. Just
The rules just came out for the XFL today,
yeah, we'll
actually.
talk about that. Bob, do you want to pull up those rules? Because I'm okay. So right now,
Yeah.
Dak Prescott is a free agent. He has not been signed.
Okay, that brings up interesting questions. If Mike McCarthy wants him in the system,
Why not?
yeah.
It all depends. It all depends. I
Hmm.
mean, Dak Prescott has a cannon for an arm, which Mike McCarthy likes because he does like getting vertical every once in a while. He don't turn the ball over. He has this year, but usually he's pretty careful with the ball. Um, it just all depends how he is on his intermediate throws and his short throws. That's the key. It's because he runs a West Coast style of offense.
Hmm.
So that's going to be what we'll see how that pans out.
Hmm.
Um, and if it looks like I'm looking at Coop. I'm not looking at my camera. I'm looking at my camera now. So it's not like I'm not wanting to look at Heather or there's a glare. It's because I'm looking at yeah. Bob, what do you think about the fires, and all that other shit?
Uh, I like him. It's just I hope the one for Carolina works out.
He fits what
Uh,
that means.
here
Cam Newton. That
they
means hold on. That all that means is I think Cam Newton's probably going to end up staying.
He's gonna finally have the coach he needs.
Well, that's true, and this guy's an offensive mind, which has been lacking in Carolina. Their defense is fine; it's their offense that they need to fix. Uh, Washington. I don't know if we talked about this last week, but Ron Rivera got hired by the Redskins, and Jack Del Rio is the defensive coordinator. So they're going defense. Offensively, I think they're fine. Defensively, they need to fix their shit.
I think Wade Phillips also got fired as well.
And he is who?
He used to be the defensive coordinator for the Texans, I think, after 3 years or something like that.
Okay, I don't know if he got fired. I didn't see that.
Oh, okay. It was in the news that Phillips, after 3 years, is gone somewhere. So,
Okay, that's fine.
It might have just been he was on a 3-year contract.
oh, okay.
It could be too, but I usually they sign for 4 years.
I know.
So I don't
It
know.
could have been a special.
It could have been. It could have been. Well, he's 95,000 fucking years old.
There you go. And Pete Carroll's another one that's up there.
He's about 60. He's not that old. I mean, he's getting up there. But so let's talk about the Bills and the Texans. I watched the first half of that game, and I thought the Bills were going to run away with it. The Texans could not do fucking anything.
No, they can.
Right.
Until
Yeah.
they lit a fire under their house.
J.J. Watt got a sack. What did I say in the fucking chat? We were talking about J.J. Watt, and somebody on Twitter said, well, J.J. Watt's overrated. And right as he said that, and I don't know if y'all know Scotty Frame, but he said, I think J.J. Watt is overrated. I don't think J.J. Watt is overrated. I think J.J. Watt is injury prone. I will agree with that. But when he is on the field, that man can change a game in a heartbeat. What happened when he got that sack in the third quarter? What happened? All of a sudden, and it was in a crucial situation, too. It was in a crucial point in the game. Josh Allen started making mistakes, and they took off. He got sacked, and J.J. Watt got that sack, and the Texans took off. Ended up winning. I ended up listening to the game, and it just seemed that Josh Allen in the second half, for as good as he was in the first two and a half quarters or so, the last quarter and a half, he looked like a rookie from what I heard.
Yeah, he was throwing the ball everywhere.
And I did see the overtime, and yes, he was throwing the ball all over the place. I did say whoever gets the ball first was going to win, and who got the ball first?
I can't remember who got the ball first.
I think the Texans did, and they ended up winning. It's 22 to 19. 22 to 19.
The Bills got the ball.
Okay, if the Bills got the ball first, and I didn't know if the Texans were going to stop them, but that's just, I'm telling you, don't count J.J. Watt out. That man, I've watched that guy through high school and college. I've watched him his whole career because he grew up here in Wisconsin. So I got the chance to watch him play football. I got the chance to watch him play college football. The guy just is a game changer. He is a game changer. That's all I can say.
I just want to chime. Can I chime in there for a little bit?
Sure. I didn't see most of the game, but go ahead.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. I just I want to mention also. I'm not sure if you noticed this, but the play calling for the Bills offense. To me, there was a lot of questionable calls that they were making. You know, I didn't see any screens. They didn't throw any screens or anything like that. They kept showing the offense that they were going in shotgun a lot, and that's why J.J. Watt, I think, got to him a lot. So they kept showing their offense to him too easily.
Yeah, they were doing that at the beginning of the game, and then they went away from it.
Mm-hmm.
I think he tried getting too conservative, and then once the Texans started rolling, they panicked and were like, "Oh my God, we got to start throwing it downfield." They just should have just stuck with the game plan. And I don't know if that's on the offensive coordinator or if that's on McDermott, because I think McDermott's a defensive guy. That's why their defense is so good.
Right. Yeah, no, it's the offense that was for the Bills that was just really questionable.
Yeah, but I wouldn't count out. The Bills will be there next year. They just got to fit, and they're young. God damn, people are. Yes, they collapsed. They caved to the pressure. They're young. They're a very young team. So, and their quarterback is still growing. He's played well. This is a learning experience for him. Now he's got to take it to the next level. The Texans end up winning. I was it 19-16 or 22-19. I can't remember.
Yeah, it was an overtime win, I think.
Yeah,
20-19.
Couldn't be 20-19. Wasn't it? Because it was 16-19. It was 22-19 because they kicked the field. So, yes. So, there you go. Texans move on, and they will play the winner. The hold on. The highest seed goes to the Chiefs. So, the next game that we're going to talk about, and everybody's laughing, and everybody's making jokes, and everybody's saying, "Oh, thank God!" You be thankful the Patriots decided not to fucking show up
Yeah.
because they should not have lost that game. They should.
No.
No,
No.
they came out flat, and that just goes to show how mediocre their offense really is. Now, Cody, don't get excited. You're lucky. You're lucky.
However,
However, the Titans had just enough offense because that just goes to show how good New England's defense is. Best defense in the league. I think the Patriots should have won that game. They should not. It shouldn't have even been close because I don't think the Titans aren't going to get their ass kicked.
They wouldn't be there without Derrick Henry for sure.
No. Yeah.
their next opponent is the Raiders.
Yeah, they're going to get their ass kicked. I don't see the Titans hanging around for too long at all. It's not. I don't even think it's. I think it's going to be like 42-9. It's going to be a fucking blowout. But the Derrick Henry ran for 80 yards. 98 yards. The Patriots did not have a 100-yard rusher this year. They did not give up 100 yards to any one player this year. I did not know that. It's the only defense in the NFL to not do it. Tennessee looked stagnant at best, unless they were running the ball. It was a good game. I'm not gonna lie, but I don't know how Titans fans were feeling with towards the end of the game. I like, this game ain't over yet. I'm sitting here having this game ain't over yet. You just left time on the clock for fucking Tom Brady to fucking do something. And fortunately, he threw a pick.
Yeah.
It was tipped by the receiver, and then it returned for a touchdown. That final was 20-13.
I think so.
Yeah, it was. It's 20-13 or 21-13. No, 20-13 because they went for two.
And they got it.
That's why the Texans went for two, because they knew Tom Brady was going to get another chance to come out.
Mm-hmm.
And the Patriots decided to play stupid and just fucking try and lateral the ball. Well, it didn't work.
No. Hooray!
I wouldn't compare Derrick Henry and Dalvin Cook at all. Derrick Henry is like twice the size of fucking Dalvin Cook. Just going to say that now.
Did Dalvin Cook go to Alabama?
No, Dalvin Cook went to Florida State.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Derrick Henry won the Heisman Trophy.
Right. He was with Alabama, I think.
He played for Alabama. Whoops. So that's all I'm going to say about there's really, but don't make fun of the Patriots. And Tom Brady's not going anywhere. I said this when they lost. Do not be surprised the Patriots come back and win the Super Bowl next year. Watch. Because the only thing that the Patriots were missing is playmakers. They didn't have any playmakers this year. None. What did they have on offense as playmakers? Tom Brady? Tom Brady can't do it all.
Julian Edelman can't do it all either.
Julian Edelman is not that good. He makes nice catches, but he's an over-the-middle guy. He's not a guy that... They need somebody to get vertical.
Yeah, it used to be Josh Gordon. Not there anymore.
Not there anymore because Josh Gordon can't fucking stop snorting cocaine.
And Sony Michel, I don't think he's the answer as a running back.
No, well, they use the revolving door of fucking running backs. They aren't never set on one solid running. James White, they should have set on James White, and they didn't set on James White because I don't know why they're one of those teams. They try to get too cute with their game plan sometimes, and it comes back to later. So the Titans will now take on the Ravens, and the Houston Texans will take on the Kansas City Chiefs. We'll talk about those two games when we do our picks. The first game on Sunday afternoon was what was the Sunday afternoon? What was the first game?
Saints and
the Vikings. Now, we'll talk about that. The Saints played flat. They didn't come prepared, which is an unusual thing to see from a Sean Payton coached football team. They just seem, and I'm gonna say this. I don't know if they came unprepared. I will say this. I honestly think that's how good Minnesota's defense is. Minnesota looked tough. They couldn't run the ball. They couldn't throw the ball. Kirk Cousins out-quarterbacked Drew Brees in that game. Straight up. Kirk Cousins out-quarterbacked Drew Brees in that game. He was the better quarterback. Now, with everything that we'll talk about it, with everything that Minnesota was able to do in vertical passing in that game against New Orleans, good luck doing that against the 49ers.
Yeah.
He ain't going to have time to throw the ball. He's not going to have time to throw the ball. He's not going to have time to sit back there and throw the ball. He's going to have to get rid of the ball quick. They're going to have to run the ball a lot to win. But then again, their front seven is really fucking good. So we will see. The final was 17-9, wasn't it? Or 17-15 or something like that. Did the Saints even score a touchdown? What was the score? I don't even remember what the score of the game was. I know I watched it. It might have been 20-15, something like that.
They went into overtime, so they had to go.
Did they?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. It's 20-17. 20-17 was the final. Vikings ended up with that big pass play. Saints again. Or 23-17. Excuse me. Saints lost 26-20. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. I'm thinking the Seahawks and that game we'll talk about here in a minute. Let's talk about the non-call that all the Saints fans are losing their utter shit over. And I know Ryan. I talked to Ryan. I wouldn't have thrown a flag. Both of them were being handsy. So yes, he extended his arms.
Yeah.
But they were both being handsy, and I think that's why the referee. No, I know you're not, Ryan. That's why I think the referee let it go, because they were both being handsy, they were both pushing, and it just so happened that Rudolph is a little stronger than the fucking cornerback.
I think it was just a good football play, but they lucky didn't get the flag.
Yes, and I will say this for you Vikings fans out there, Gina, don't get excited because that could have very easily have been called. It could have been, but I'm glad that they called it because I'll talk about that too. I would have kept the flag in the pocket as well. Or I would have thrown a flag on both of them, had offsetting penalties and fucking replay. That's what I would have fucking done. That's just me, though. Bobbit, Coop, what did you guys think?
Well, it was the Saints played, like you said, the Saints played pretty flat most of that game. For surprising for the Saints, they played at home too, which was surprising too. So that just it was it came down to like a last minute like back and forth thing. So I think any team that won was going to be in trouble no matter what for next week. So.
Mm-hmm. Bobbit?
I watched actually, I watched all games that you did. That's pretty good football this weekend. I can't wait to see how the divisional round is.
What did you
If the
think
divisional
about-
round's anything like the wild card. Huh?
I ain't that far yet, Bobbit. What did you think about the Saints and Vikings game?
I thought it was good.
What about the no
I
call?
agree with that call at the end.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah,
you agree with the call? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the game, the Seahawks at the Eagles. Again, we talked about the hit on Carson Wentz. I think that played a factor in the Eagles not winning. I think the Eagles could very easily have won that game. The Seahawks offense was flat. Their defense gave up plays. They can't do that next week because they're playing a better quarterback than Carson Wentz next week.
Yeah.
They're playing against Aaron Rodgers, and this is not the same defense that the Legion of Boom that Aaron Rodgers. This might actually, we'll talk about it. This Green Bay could actually put up some fucking numbers with the way that they're able to run the ball and throw it, and with their defense actually stepping up and playing football for the first time in a long time. So, yeah, it was a boring game. I like defensive games. It was a good defensive game, but yeah.
Well, there was just more expectations for that offense. Like you signed Marshawn Lynch to bring a lot of hype. He had 6 rushes for 7 yards. Big deal. I mean,
he's just they have that Homer kid.
I've seen him. I'm not too impressed with him. He's a 6th rounder, right?
So yeah, he's a 6th rounder. He's on the practice squad. There's a reason why he can't be president, but they don't have a choice. Why? There's players out there. Why do they bring? And the only reason they brought Marshawn Lynch in was to give them a little bit of a oomph, if you know what I mean, to give them that extra rah. To get them motivated, to get them, they're getting by. We'll see next week. Next week is the 3rd week. We'll see. Green Bay's defense has improved. How improved? We'll find out next week. Because again, Packers are going up against Russell Wilson, and they let David Blah he looked like fucking Tom Brady in the first half of that game. Couldn't fucking miss. He had that offense clicking. But we'll see. So the Seahawks end up winning 17-9. They will face the Packers, as I said, in Green Bay this Sunday at 5:40 or 5:30, I think, is the game. Let's go over the power rankings, and we're just going to do the top 12 because everybody else is fucking done. Number 12, the Eagles. Bills dropped to 11. The Patriots dropped to 10.
That's a big drop.
The Saints, LOL, Heather put, dropped 7 spots to number 9. See, this is why I said they are not the number 2 team in the NFL. I knew they weren't. I don't think that the Packers are the number 2 team. I mean, the 49ers are the second best team in the NFL right now. That's not to say that Green Bay can't beat them, because I think they can. They just have to play smarter than the half. Or they did the first time they played them. The Texans are at 8, which I disagree with. I think they should be higher. The Seahawks are at 7. The Vikings are at 6. The Packers are at 5. The Chiefs at 4. Or the Packers at 4. The Chiefs at 3. The 49ers at 2. And the Ravens at 1. I think the Packers should be over the Chiefs, not the other way around. I don't know why they keep putting the Chiefs over the Packers. Packers beat the Chiefs. I don't care. Head to head, Green Bay holds it. I don't care if fucking Mahomes is out or not. Bottom line, Chiefs lost to the Packers at home. There you go. There you have it. Don't want to hear it. Shut the fuck up. Don't try and feed me no fucking excuses. What do you guys think of the top 10? Of course, the Ravens are number 1. What do you think of the top 12?
For me, it's like in that Seahawks and the Vikings. Like I might want to switch them around, just like back and forth. But like that's a tough one. It's like I'm not sure what you guys would think.
Yeah, I mean the Vikings are really good. I think the reason that they put the Vikings over the Seahawks is if the Vikings were in that division, I think the Vikings would have finished ahead of the Seahawks. I think that's their purpose. They would have won the South. No, they wouldn't have won. Well, I don't know. They beat the Vikings, but they would have won the East. They finished in second behind Green Bay for the North. They would have finished ahead of the Seahawks in the NFC North. I don't remember. And either way, I think the Vikings are better. I think the Vikings are the better team. Bob, what do you say?
After the way they played, it's a tough call.
Yeah. Bob, what says you?
I agree with the top 11. It's just I would have flipped the ones that you said.
Yeah, the Packers and the Chiefs. Yeah, I don't know why they're. I think they're doing every other, but whatever. I don't care. It is what it is. Rankings are rankings, but it's a talking point. But to be honest with you, I put the Packers versus the Chiefs. Packers over the Chiefs. Is anybody else got anything they'd like to talk about? And we'll talk about the games.
I just realized for the 100th season of the NFL, I would love to see the Packers and the Chiefs in the Super Bowl to represent those two teams.
I've seen it.
You've seen it?
Go Super Bowl 1, man. I mean, I wasn't born yet.
I was going to say.
I know. It was just, to me, I think that would just be cool. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, it could be. It could be. We'll see. I don't see the Ravens losing to the Chiefs, though. We'll see. Nope. So, that being said, let's get into the college corner. We're going to talk about the national championship game. Everybody's sitting there talking LSU this, LSU that, LSU this. LSU needs to fix their defense. Yes, they scored, 70 points against Oklahoma. But you got to remember, Oklahoma doesn't play defense. Okay? Let's keep this in mind. Look at what Ohio State did as an offense this year. They had the highest scoring offense in college football this year. And Clemson essentially shut them down. I honestly, if I'm an LSU fan, I'm scared. Because Clemson's on a mission. If you look at that game against Ohio State was up 16-0 and was running away with the game. Trevor Lawrence got hit. I guess it was a late hit or whatever, but it wasn't flagged. And Trevor Lawrence went the fuck off. I'm telling you right now, LSU fans, you better be worried. Bobbitt, what say you?
I say Clemson. Clemson's got this. If LSU does what they did against Oklahoma, yeah, Clemson's got it.
So that being said, it's picking time because I just told you what needs to happen.
I thought we picked that already.
No, this is a national championship game.
Yeah, I thought we picked that
No,
already.
no.
Are you sure?
I'm positive. Positive. And if I have, I was wrong. I didn't want to pick it. No, we haven't. So, like I said, LSU better bring their A game on on defense, and Clemson better bring their A game on defense. Like they better. I'll put it to you like this: they better play like they did against Ohio State, or they will. It will be like a 70-point game. They're going to score points. I give Clemson. Clemson can score with anybody in the country. The thing is, can LSU's defense stop Clemson enough? Because I know Clemson can stop LSU's offense. It's whether or not LSU can stop Clemson. I don't know if they can. They do have pretty good corners on the outside. They have pretty solid, but the running game could be a question mark. And with Clemson, all facets of the game are a go. Jalen Hurts got taken to the woodshed, but he looked pretty good after that first half. He settled down and put up points. You cannot in a game like this. It's going to be a high scoring game, but who's going to stop who in a crucial situation? I think both teams can do it, but I think Clemson is more apt to do it than LSU. That being said, Bobbitt, who you got?
I got Clemson, bro.
What's your score going to be?
Like 56 to 52.
Okay, that's pretty high scoring. That means nobody's going to be punting. There's going to be I don't think it's going to be that high scoring. It's going to be high 30s. It's probably going to be like 38-30. And I'm picking Clemson. I just think Clemson they are hungry. They are underappreciated. They're going to prove. They have something to prove. LSU, everybody's picking LSU. And people are forgetting that Clemson is the defending national champion. They beat the best defense with exactly the same freaking guys that they had last year. Maybe a receiver here or a receiver there, but it's essentially the same people returning on offense for Clemson. And Alabama had the number one defense last year, and they made them look silly. Think about that for a second before you LSU fans just all of a sudden assume that LSU's winning. That's the thing you got to think about. You've got a quarterback that started last year, but is he the answer? Can he get LSU over the hump? That's the question. And if he can his defense make a stop or two? That's the question that has to be answered. I don't think they can do it.
So a sophomore quarterback that has the composure of a fucking senior.
He has the composure of an NFL quarterback. It's not even a senior. He has the composure of an NFL quarterback. This kid rates higher than Joe Burrow does. Yes, Joe Burrow puts up a lot of yards. Joe Burrow put up a lot of touchdown passes. I'm telling you right now, this kid can do the same thing. He did it last year against Oklahoma.
He did it last year against Bama.
He did it last year. I mean, by a lot. And Bama has a better defense than LSU does. Had a better defense than LSU does. So that being said, yeah, I'm going Clemson. Good luck. I'm gonna be. I don't know. Is it on Monday?
I have no idea. Probably.
I'll be checking it out. I'll be
Yes, on
checking
Monday.
it out, but I'll be watching Raw as well, or vice versa. One of the two. I might check out the national championship game. We'll see. I might be tweeting out while the game is on. Be looking out for that. With that being said, it is picking time for this week's games. Did you put them on the thing, Kev?
I did.
So, did you update the chart?
Yeah.
Holy shit. How in the fuck did you get ahead of me?
I was ahead of you before fucking week 16.
Fucking cheating, man. Playoffs.
Did you want to go over the XFL rule?
We'll get to that in a second. Actually, yeah, I'm sorry, Bobbit. Let's do that now. I'm sorry. So XFL rules. Bobbit, you pull up them rules?
Yeah, I have the rules.
Okay, so give me a rule. What are the rules?
Okay.
I know you're confused by that.
During punts, players do it.
Go ahead.
Okay. During punts, players cannot leave the line of scrimmage until after the punter kicks the ball away, so there won't be any blocks.
Okay.
Okay.
Are you confused by that?
Okay.
That's fine. I don't care about that.
No.
Blocks are so few and far between that it doesn't matter.
Punts.
Go ahead.
Okay. Punts that go into the end zone or out of play will be spotted at the 35-yard line or wherever the ball lands out of bounds.
Say it again.
Punts to go into the end
That's kickoffs.
zone or out of play will be spotted or wherever the ball lands.
35-yard line or wherever the ball went out of lines.
I can't hear him at all. You there, Bobbit?
He's going BB-8 again, so it might be a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, say that again. Because you cut out.
Punts that go into the ends.
And then you cut out.
Here, let me try something real fast. Hang on.
Here, I'll pull him up. I got him, Bobbit. Because you keep cutting out like really bad. So, all right. All right. The kicker kicks from the 25-yard. This is the NFL or the XFL. The kicker kicks from the 25-yard line and must kick the ball in air and in play between the opponent's 20-yard line and the end zone. So he has to kick it past the 20. That's what it's saying. The coverage team lines up on the return side of the 35-yard line, and the return team lines up on the 30-yard line. Each team must have exactly 3 players outside the hash marks on both sides of the ball and cannot move until the ball is caught by the return. What? Yeah, that don't make any sense. Out-of-bounds kicks and kicks that fall short of the 20-yard line will result in an illegal procedure penalty like it does in the NFL. taking the ball out to the 45-yard line. In the NFL, it's the 40. Players can move the ball. Players can move when the ball is touched by the returner or 3 seconds after the ball touches the ground when the official waves his hand down. I don't understand. Players can move when the ball is touched by the returner or 3 seconds after the ball touches the ground. Okay, so as soon as the ball is touched by a player on the opposite team, they can go. The ball touches the ground. If the ball touches the ground when the official waves his hand down, whatever that fucking means. If the ball is kicked into the end zone and is down, it is a major touchback, and the ball will be placed at the 35
Can
yard line.
you hear me now?
Yeah. If
Okay.
I've got him. If the ball bounces inbounds and then out of the end zone or is down in the end zone, the ball is placed and return at the return side of the 15-yard line. In the NFL, it's 25, so they just moved it 10 yards back.
Ah, interesting.
So essentially what they're saying is they want to see kickoff returns. They want to see returns.
I want to see a lot more kickoff returns and touchdowns.
If a player on the return team touches the ball and it goes out of bounds, the ball will be spotted where it went out of bounds. That's the NFL. If a team wishes to run an onside kick, you can't do a trick onside kick.
It must be declared.
It must be declared that you're doing an onside kick. And that's for the safety of the players,
Yes.
and I'm okay with that. The NFL kicks off from the 35 with 5 players on each side of the ball. The ball can be kicked out of the end zone for a touchback, or the ball is placed out of bounds at the 40-yard line. Okay, so in the NFL, once the ball is kicked, you can take off. In XFL, you have to wait until the ball is touched by another player.
Okay.
College, it's the same thing. Point after. Now, this is where I like these rules. After a touchdown, the team has the option of running a play from the 2, 5, or 10-yard line. The plays from the 2 are worth 1 point. The plays from the 5 are worth 2, and the plays from the 10 are worth 3 points. The team must run an offensive play, and no kicking plays are allowed. So you can't kick an extra point. If the defense is able to cause a turnover and return the ball to the opponent's end zone, the resulting score is equal to the number of points the offensive team was attempting to score from PAT. So the team has 3 options. If they score a touchdown, they can go for 1, 2, or 3 points.
Wow. That's different.
Do everybody understand that? That's simple.
Mm-hmm.
The NFL and the NFL has a near automatic play with Wendy. The NFL has a near automatic play with its extra point kick. The XFL has created excitement by replacing a kick with a play from scrimmage, which they have. To provide even more excitement, we have added the opportunity of a 3-point play, which means that an 18-point deficit is still a 2-possession game. So fans have told the XFL the 3-point play creates more strategy and innovation for coaches. So they've done a study on this. And so everybody that thinks Vince isn't fucking listening to people, he is. Just throwing that out there. He's got a committee of people fucking, this is what people want to see. This is what people want to see. And this is why. The punt. Punting team cannot release past the line of scrimmage until the ball is kicked, which is fine. So once the ball is kicked, you can go. Gunners must line up at the line of scrimmage and are permitted to move laterally once the ball is snapped until it is kicked. So you can go out. You can move out laterally before the ball is snapped. Defenders over the gunner cannot cross the line of scrimmage until the ball is kicked. If the ball goes out of bounds inside the 35-yard line, it is a major touchback, and the ball goes to the 35-yard line. You understand that's the same as kickoff. If a punted ball lands in an opponent's end zone or goes out of the end zone, the result is a major touchback and the ball goes out to the 35-yard line. Fair catches are permitted, though disincentivized. So it's C rationale. Okay, fans told the XFL they didn't like the amount of punts, specifically punts in an opponent's territory, and how many punts did not have a return. 47% ended in a fair catch, out of bounds, or touchback. The XFL has instituted 2 rule changes to address these concerns. All out-of-bounds kicks create a touchback, and no punt coverage players can release until the ball is kicked. This will create an average distance between the punt return and the nearest defender to 11 yards, versus similar leagues of 6 yards, creating less reason to fair catch. So for them, when the player, they have to wait until the ball is kicked. In the NFL, you can take off as soon as the ball is snapped.
Right.
In the XFL, you have to wait until the ball is kicked, which creates
more
a
time.
return. Essentially, the XFL touchback changes will create less incentive for teams to punt in an opponent's territory. So essentially, if they're creating offense, they're creating excitement and innovation. So a lot of going forward on 4th down, I'm thinking. That's why they're doing that. In NFL and college, touchbacks go to the 20, so teams will risk less. So teams will risk less versus the XFL on punts. Our coaches will be incentivized, so they have an incentive to go forward on 4th down because there's a higher likelihood of a positive punt return and no liability to pin the receiving team with a coffin or corner kick. So you can't kick the ball out of bounds. If you kick the ball out of bounds, you can kick it at the corner, but if it goes out of bounds, they get the ball at the 35-yard line anyway. Interesting. Double forward pass. If a team completes a forward pass behind the line of scrimmage, that team may throw a second forward pass.
Really?
As long as the ball has at no time crossed the line of scrimmage. Once the ball has passed, and that's in the NFL, you can't throw forward once it's past the line of scrimmage. It's kind of the same thing, except you can't throw forward. You can't throw forward behind the line of scrimmage. You can throw laterally behind the line of scrimmage, and that counts as a backwards pass because it's lateral. And they'll only allow 1 forward pass per play. So you can run a forward pass like a screen pass, and then you flip it back or whatever. That guy can come back and then drop back and throw. That's essentially what they're saying. Or you can flip it back and then throw it forward again. The double pass is one of the most exciting plays in football, and the XFL aims to add excitement while maintaining traditional. The double forward pass updates the rules to make double passes less risky because the first pass may fall incomplete rather than becoming fumbled lateral. So you might be seeing that a lot on 4th down plays. Overtime. Overtime shall consist of 5 rounds. Stage an alternating single-play possession as is customary in NHL shootouts or MLS penalty kicks. A round will consist of 1 offensive play per team. Each possession starts at the opponent's 5-yard line, and the offensive team has 1 play to score. The team with more points after 5 rounds is the winner. I don't mind that. If a team has been mathematically eliminated before all 5 rounds have been completed, the game ends immediately. If they're tied, I'm sure that they continue to go. If teams are tied after 5 rounds, the rounds continue until one team is leading at the conclusion of a round, and that team will be. So there will be no ties in the XFL.
Nice.
For scoring purposes, each successful overtime score is worth 2 points, so it's not a touchdown, and it shouldn't count towards the offensive yardage. The defensive team cannot score if the offensive team commits a turnover. The play is over immediately. I don't mind that. Protects injury. If the defensive team commits a penalty, the offensive team will be allowed to reattempt from the 1-yard line. Any subsequent penalty committed by the defensive team, including in future rounds, will result in a score awarded to the offensive team. If the offensive team commits a pre-snap penalty, the ball will move back from the original spot pursuant to regular rules and will be reattempted. So whatever, if false start, it's 5 yards. Holding, it's 10 yards. There will be a minimum of 20 seconds between plays, with the ball spotting official working in conjunction with TV and official review to signal when the play begins. Current NFL rule, 10-minute rule. College, they go from the 25-yard line, and it goes until somebody wins. And yardage counts. In order to speed up the game, we wanted to minimize the downtime between plays. Our coaching staffs and teams are going to provide fans what fans want, more football during the game. Comeback period occurs after the 2-minute warning in each half. On plays that end in the field of play, the game clock will be stopped until the ball has been spotted and 5 seconds have run off the play clock. On incomplete passes or out of bounds, the game clock will stop completely until the ball is snapped. No shit. Whatever. The NFL has a 2-minute warning with 2 minutes left in each quarter, which stops the clock when a player goes out of bounds where there is an incompletion inside 2 minutes. Okay, so on plays that end in the field, the game clock will be stopped until the ball has been spotted and 5 seconds have run off the play clock. So you have to wait 5 seconds for the play to start another. The most exciting part of the game is the end of each half, and the XFL aims to maximize the excitement by stopping the game clock after a play. The team that is trailing has a clear way to maximize its remaining time and still have the ability to use its complete playbook, including run plays or plays in the middle of the field. Also, a team cannot run out the clock at the end of a game until the opponent has no timeouts. So no timeouts, you can't take a knee. If you have timeouts left, you can't take a knee. You got to run play. Which I like that rule. Mm-hmm. It adds excitement to the game. Now, people are going to be pissing, and moaning because, well, play clock. Again. Right. Outside the last 2 minutes of each half, the game clock will run after incompletions and out-of-bounds plays. Aside from incompletions and out-of-bounds plays, game clock rules outside the last 2 minutes of each half are the same as the NFL. So it's 40-second game clock. And the 40-second play clock, goes until once the play is over, the game clock recycles, automatically starts. In college, on a first down, the clock stops, and then they wait, they set the ball, and then they start the 40-second clock again. In the NFL, once the ball is set, or once the play is over, the clock recycles. Timeouts. Each timeout will have 2 1-minute timeouts per half. So 2 timeouts. They only get 2 timeouts per half. Replay rulings. The XFL will have no coaches challenged, and all plays will be subject to review from the replay official, who will be stationed in a booth above the field. So that's easy. I'm not even going to go into that. They do that in college. In college football, they do that. Every play is reviewable, except for certain plays. The replay official may correct obvious errors involving player safety at any point throughout the game. The replay official may correct any egregious obvious error that may have a significant impact on the outcome of the game in the last 5 minutes of the fourth quarter or during overtime. Review. Okay, so here's the reviewable plays. Plays involving possession. So fumble, interception, a turnover. Okay? Plays involving touching of either the ball or the ground, incomplete passes. Plays governed by the goal line, touchdowns. So if plays governed by the boundary lines, out-of-bounds plays. Plays governed by the line of scrimmage. So plays are going to be reviewed at the spot of the ball where the line of scrimmage is. Plays governed by the line to gain, like I just said. Penalty enforcement, so they might enforce penalties like pass interference does in the NFL or supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
Proper down, making sure that it's the right down, the spot of a foul. Same as line to gain or line of scrimmage. Status of the game clock. Disqualification of a player. The list of reviewable plays identical to those in the NFL prior to 2018. So personal fouls, targeting is probably, and that is one of the rules that I wish the NFL would go to, is targeting. That we talked about that already. 5 common sense rules. To catch a ball means that a player secures control of a live ball in flight before the ball touches the ground. Touches the ground in bounds with any part of his body and then maintains control of the ball long enough to enable him to perform an act common to the game. Long enough to pitch or hand the ball, advance it, avoid, or ward off an opponent. So the NFL should go to that rule. If you have possession of the ball you still need 2 feet. You still need to possess the ball for 2 feet. I think what they're going to do, and I could be wrong, I don't think you have to have 2 feet in. I think you have to be able to possess the ball, and then for a specific amount of time. Now, I catch the ball, 1, 2, 3, and then I pitch it, because I got to gain control of the ball. So that takes a minute. Not a minute. It takes like 3 seconds. So about 5 seconds would probably be, and that's what I would say. I wouldn't, because then the rule is going to be, well, hold on. He was able to flip it right away, so he was able to maintain it within 1 second.
According to this article, they have to have at least 1 foot in bounds, just like it is in college.
There it is, 1 foot in bounds. Okay. Ball spotting official. There's this ball spotting official. Coach to player communication. While still in development, the goal is to select offensive players to have coach. It's just like in the NFL. In college, there is no coach to player communication. So they run the plays in and out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
okay.
In the NFL, you can talk in the ear. In college, you can't do it. It teaches the quarterback to have to understand offenses. I totally agree with it. In high school, you can't do it either.
So the XFL, you can't have the icon, the things in your helmets.
No, they're still in development.
Oh, okay, all right.
So they haven't gotten that far yet.
Okay.
But they will, because they'll just ask the NFL, how the fuck do you do it? Really easy. Put a communications device inside the fucking helmet. Fucking idiot. Illegal man downfield. No ineligible player shall or have been more than 3 yards beyond the line of scrimmage until a passer throws a legal forward pass that crosses the line of scrimmage. Now, it has to cross the line of scrimmage. Now, what if it's a double throw? See, that's the thing. You got to make that. If it's a double throw,
It has to be.
they still have to be behind the line of scrimmage because the ball has to cross the line of scrimmage.
Well, it's kind of what it is in the NFL too, because they can't go. It's an illegal forward pass, or they go past the line of scrimmage.
Right, and the halftime rules are 10 minutes. That's essentially the rules in a nutshell, and we will get more into it. As we'll review a game or two, watch a game or two, and then we'll review it from there.
From what it sounds like, they want to take out all the kicking away, so all the time of backs and that.
I don't know if field goals will still be a factor. I mean, you still might be able to kick field goals, but as far as punting, you can punt on your opponent's side of the field. You just can't kick it out of bounds or through the end zone.
Right.
Because they'll get the ball at the 35.
Okay.
That's what that means. It's just they're just trying to provide excitement for the game and it'll help the game move along a lot faster. And you're going to see like some high scoring fucking games. I can tell you that already. From what I'm seeing, you're going to see like fucking you're going to see some weird ass fucking shit in this game. You're going to see a flea flicker that's really not a flea flicker. It's a screen pass back to the fucking running back. He's going to flip it back to the quarterback, and the quarterback's going to throw it downfield. That's your forward pass.
Looking for highlight reels.
I don't know. The NFL might learn something.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody says the NFL is the innovator. I think XFL. I kind of like the rules, especially the double forward pass. That could add some real excitement. Add some creativity to the game. I bet you coaches will want to fucking come and coach there because they'll be like, jerking off in the corner. 2 forward passes. Yeah, I'm just nutting in my fucking pants. So yeah. So, that being said, let's get to the picks for this week's games. Actually, this is your thing if you want. Heather's going to take over the picks. So.
No, I'm not.
No, you are like me because you're like, hurry the fuck
I'm gonna get my trusty pen here. Okay. Hi guys.
Hello.
Hi, Mom.
So, the first game we got going, we've already talked a little bit about what's to come for it because, it's going to be one of those games where it's like what team is going to show up. The first game we got is the Vikings at the 49ers.
I'll let you guys go.
When it comes down to it, when it's the 49ers, they're a pretty solid team, but there are things that they are missing. Right. However, the Vikings, they're that team that they look like complete absolute shit, but they still manage to win.
They have the defense to beat the 49ers. They don't have the offense to beat the 49ers. Look, Minnesota is not going to be able to throw downfield. Yes, play action's going to work for them if they're short passes, intermediate. So I'm saying, and I'm not talking like fucking 35 yards downfield to fucking Adam Thielen or Stephon Diggs. I'm talking play action boot, 15 yards at max until they get to a position where they're ahead and they can actually throw downfield, or they loosened up the 49ers defense. Because that front four, if they can get pressure, they will destroy Minnesota.
Bosa's coming.
Yeah, all 4 of them, because I think they're getting Deion Jones back. They're getting him back. Apparently, he's been missing. So, I'm going with the 49ers barely. Because the 49ers have that kind of offense where they could lay an egg. I've seen them do it. They've done it 3 times this year. I'm going 49ers by 3.
I was gonna say by content.
It's gonna be 20 to 17. The game is gonna be a lot like the Patriots and Titans.
Bobby, who do you pick?
I'm going 49ers.
I agree with JP. I'm going to go with the 49ers. It's going to be a tough game, close game.
I too went with the 49ers. I just don't think the Vikings have enough on their offense. Even with Dalvin Cook being back, I do not think they have enough to handle the 49ers. Next game we got, of course, you guys already know my pick for this game.
Uh-huh.
Titans at the Ravens.
Okay, well, fuck the Titans because they've been screwing me all year like they do every time. I'm going Ravens.
Bobbit?
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna go the Ravens. But be sure if Titans somehow, I've seen weirder shit happen in the playoffs.
Weirder shit has happened in the playoffs. However, it's Titans. Come on now, Bobbit.
Heather, I have seen some weird shit happen. I wouldn't say never, but I am gonna go Ravens though. But I wouldn't be surprised if Titans somehow, by the grace of God, pull something out of their ass.
For that to happen, they would need both Lamar Jackson and RG3 unable to play.
I'll tell you this. The front seven for Tennessee, this is a big game. Is Mark Ingram playing?
Yes.
He got hurt.
Yes. Yeah, he hurt his shoulder, but he's indefinitely back.
The Titans or the Ravens will need to run the ball. And not Lamar Jackson running, Mark Ingram running the ball. Because they're going to key. And if you have watched teams in the last few weeks, they keyed on Lamar Jackson. If they can keep Lamar Jackson in the pocket, Tennessee can win. Which means that Lamar Jackson's going to have to beat them throwing downfield. Tennessee has a very good secondary. They have two very good shutdown corners. That being said, I'm going with the Ravens. It's going to be like 35-16 because I don't think Tennessee can move the ball.
No, because Ravens' defense is the key to this game as well.
Well, they're going to get turnovers.
That's what I'm saying. So the Titans can throw the ball all they want. They're going to get intercepted at least once in this game.
That being said, if Baltimore doesn't force turnovers, they could be in trouble.
So now we go on to the next one, which this could be another shit show because of one team. Texans at the Chiefs.
Oh boy.
Yeah. The Texans, it took them getting a sack by J.J. Watt to wake the fuck up and beat the Titans. So is it going to take something like that again? Or do the Chiefs have this one?
I think with the bye week, the Chiefs at home, I think that this is an important game for them. And Patrick Mahomes, I think he needs to put up some numbers. I think the Chiefs can do it.
Bobby, what about you?
I'm gonna go Chiefs, but I would like to see with the Ravens. Never say never on Texans.
Well, I say never when it comes to the Chiefs simply because they don't always show up.
Yeah, and J.J. Watt's going to be coming out.
He is the most intense player on defense that I have seen in a long time. Aside from a few players on the Ravens. But when it comes down to it, it's going to take him to fire up his team and not the quarterback, which is a little scary for me.
Deshaun Watson's got to play better than what he did last week, so.
He is going Texans.
Now in that game, they need to, with Hopkins and Watson, they need to click. They need to score points because that's what they were lacking in the first quarter of that game against the Bills. Is they weren't clicking until the second quarter.
Absolutely.
Did you say that JP was going Texans?
Yes, I did.
I ain't going to disagree with that. I just want to make sure.
Wendy. But
Walker is playing like
Yeah.
the second half of that game. He took a shot by two guys and bounced off of it like it was.
Yeah, that was
hell, one of the plays he dragged 3 guys into the end zone with him. Okay.
That being said, on defense, like I said, J.J. Watt is a game changer. Like this last week.
Yeah, this may be another game that goes into overtime. That's just kind of what this year has been as well. You have these teams that are more competitive that have not been competitive for the last 10 years. And it's been insanely good football this year.
Oh yeah, it's
That's better than everybody else.
Exactly. We've not had something like that in a long time when it comes to football. Next game and the final game of the playoffs. This for the divisional round. That is the Seahawks at the Packers. While you think about that, everybody, I went with the Chiefs, but it's just barely going to be the Chiefs. Hey, they might. You never know. Bobbitt, what are your thoughts on this game?
It's gonna be a good game. I think it's gonna be a close game, but I think Packers is gonna pull it off.
Who?
This is gonna make or break me. I'm going
This has got to be the hardest choice for you.
Oh, I'm going Seahawks. They got to get the offense going. I like what I'm seeing from DJ Metcalf. I look for him to be a threat in this game. Watch out for him with that connection with Russell Wilson because they're starting to click more. But man, Marshawn Lynch, you got to get better, and there's only hope that I think. I think of this one.
Well, when it comes right down to it, is they need to get, just like with the Ravens, with the draft coming up, they need to get somebody to help Marshawn Lynch so this way he can stay healthy throughout the whole game. Just like I think the Ravens need another running back to help Mark Ingram. They don't use him as much though. So.
The way he played in the game the week before, 17.
What's in your mouth?
I'm gonna go with the Packers because I'm gonna go with the Packers.
Can I have that?
But I'm gonna say that Green Bay has improved on defensive side of the ball. They are a but don't break like defense. I don't like that. They don't give up. I mean, they do give up touchdowns. The big touchdown passes. You have to earn the touchdown against Green Bay. The pressure on the outside by Green Bay is a huge factor in this game. How good are Seattle's tackles? Green Bay is one of those teams, they're a swarming style of defense on the pass rush. And not very many people have been able to get away from Zadarius Smith and Preston Smith. So with that said, I don't see Russell Wilson having that big of a game. And they need the running game, and they don't have it. They've been getting by with mediocrity. And Green Bay has been able to run the ball, and they can throw it. They just don't. They don't execute the way that they should all the time. My problem with Green Bay is they run the routes and then stop. They don't come back to Aaron Rodgers. They don't break off to try and get open. They just stand there and watch Aaron Rodgers run. They gotta stop doing that. If they can control the ball, run it effectively, and play defense like they played the last 2 weeks of the season, they should win. And I think they will.
That being said, we also don't know with the league reviewing the hit on Carson Wentz from Clowney, if Clowney's going to be allowed to play.
Well, Clowney really hasn't been this year at all because he's been hurt most of the year with a core injury. But
Right.
All right. Anybody else have any further thoughts on the coming games?
I'm excited for another week of football.
Yeah. I am excited.
you need to stop pitching.
I am excited to get 1 week closer to the Super Bowl. Wendy, they're fine, baby. I'll be excited when she stops biting and pinching people. So with that being said, folks, we hope to see you again very, very soon, and we will be back next week on Tuesday again, provided everybody's still available. And we'll be going over everything again. Did you show? Oh. So for last week, here with our scores, most of us did absolute shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, pretty much everybody went 1-3 or 0-4. Cody
Wow.
is the only one who went 3-1.
Well done, Cody.
Yeah, Trek, Ray, and Dan. And here is the chart of the updated scores of the whole year. Yeah. There's a lot of work to be done. Hopefully this week changes that for most of us. Maybe JP can finally catch up to me. All right. And there you go, folks. We will be back next week. Hope to see everybody here, and we hope to have better scores for everybody.
I hope so. I hope.
Okay, so have a good night, folks. Yes.